Hey, welcome everybody to Wednesday night at the crib. Larry's going to be a couple minutes late. He's picking up some kids. I'm assuming that means he's picking up his own kids. So he'll be joining us in a minute or two. And we're going to talk about, well, I guess the big news is the change to the 117. Last I looked in the forums, there has not been any comment from Kixeye. And we'll get into that. We also did we did some testing with the elite countermeasure, since that appeared to be an issue for a lot of people. We may have figured it out, but we got some video that you guys can look at and some builds to help us understand what was going on. And we'll talk about bounty a little bit. So I'm joined by Grimace at the moment. And,
what's up, everybody?
Larry will be joining us in a few, and Rom will probably be here in 20 minutes or so. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started with the slides.
Yay.
Yep. Now we know why Rampage left town. I'm assuming that's...
oh, yeah. Excellent title, by the way. I just read that a couple seconds ago, and I was cracking up. Yeah.
So we'll go through the bug fixes. Fixed an issue where the penetrative overlay had the wrong stat associated with it. Originally, as we pointed out, I think last Wednesday, it showed that instead of penetrative defenses on the outpost, naval lab, and advanced lab, it was explosive, but they fixed that. Fixed an issue where some users were unable to activate the Abyssal Invasion campaign. I don't know anything about that. You have any issues with that, Grimace?
Nope.
And fix an issue where walls were not appearing in the build model, whatever word that is. I didn't have any modal. Yeah, I didn't have any issues with that. You?
No, I haven't seen any of that either.
Okay. And I'm not sure it's true, but Corey's reporting that Rampage is on the road to WrestleMania. So after looking at him, I'm assuming he's merely going to be in the crowd, or else, that might be worth the pay-per-view. But yes, and yes, and now we hear that John Cena is his opponent, so we'll see. Fix an issue where some users were unable to unequip solar reinforcements. I never put any on, so oh well. So
I have to report. I have to report on this young lady who is washing this bug. She's obviously in the sun, and she's letting the soap dry on the hood, and she's gonna get water spots really bad, and it's gonna take her a while to probably get all that out. So it's not wise.
Yeah, I'm assuming she's getting paid by the hour. The fact that she's sitting down while she's doing this, as opposed to getting paid by the actual per car. So
maybe she's got a sponge on her butt, and she's
possibly.
Anyway,
could be. She could be doing a little polishing. All right. I was hoping to have some other people on here as well.
I'm not good enough for you?
No, just to get a broader. Have you actually hit a 117?
I have not.
Okay. See, that's
I started reading all the people complaining, and I'm like, it's not even worth it. Just hit other things.
Yeah, I read all the people complaining. I was like, maybe it's something like they try to figure out how to limit people from using the Savage Kodiak or something of that nature. And everybody I've talked, I talked to George, I talked to Larry, Irf hadn't hit one at that point because Irf was still at work. And then I saw the people on on the forums and different forums and on the Facebook, and everybody seems to be taking about 3 to 4. Well, I saw some where 3 to 8 times as much damage, but 3 to 4 seems to be the average increase in damage that we've seen on the 117,
which is just crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's not good. And I'll read this from March 12th from our Absent community manager, Major Rampage. When we first introduced the 117, we reduced the damage of the target to allow everyone to be able to learn the mechanics of the new target. With this transition, we're not planning on making any major changes to the 117. You all can read the rest of it, which is not as relevant to what I'm talking about, but this feels like a major rampage change to me.
And my question is this just incremental change, or is this now the full power target? Because, you know, if it's not the full power target, I mean, oh my God.
Yeah, because I went from being able to hit 3 targets in less damage than I'm able to hit 1 at this point. And hitting 3 at that time was reasonable, somewhat reasonable. It was not as, because I was able to hit them quickly and get it done, and it was nice to a certain extent. You know, I have 5, and I was actually missing a special at that point on one of my ships. But now I have 5 ships fully ranked, equipped and whatnot, and now I'm up around 2 hours of damage per target. And just, I don't know. I'm just hoping that we get, I don't have any information. I'm just hoping if anybody sees anything out there during the show, let us know that, you know, some sort of comment from Kick's Eye. Is this a mistake? Is this intentional? Because this is not.
I think it's intentional, and it's their ramping up of the target. It seems just like a crazy amount of damage increase.
Yeah, because we can't counter and it feels like we can't counter some of the stuff that's coming at us. And if that is, which is the green gray missile that comes from the bottom of the Executioner, and everybody seems to be having fairly consistent increases. We have to do some more testing on this. And I know Earth was going to, when he got home, because he has one dragon that he's got an RA on, see if that's faring better than the other ones. Because from what we know of that damage type, it's about 2/3 missile damage, 1/3 explosive, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So we might be able to determine if it's coming from there. But the real problem that I see is they gave us, you know, they pushed us to put these things out, get them done, and now they're changing the target. Well, first they're changing the target on us after they waited over a month to give us the lowered explosive amount to add to it. It's just like they're jerking us around the entire time. This is supposed to be the FM. This is supposed to be historically the easy chore that we do.
Yeah, it's the bread and butter of the game, basically.
Yeah, and it's now people are going to end up spending more time. This happens every week. And they're going to spend all this time preparing their ships for, let's say, you know, if people are taking 2 to 3 hours of damage, and you're getting 500 points, you know.
Well, and I will say this too, like every time they change something, people are like, oh my God. But then people start figuring out how to do it. It just sucks that, I mean, people are just now really probably getting into hitting 117s. They are already ramping it up. And even those people who have been doing them for a while are probably going to have to change their ships again.
And that's the part that I really don't like, is the fact that we're going to have to change our ships again. And there was no announcement. There was nothing in the update. You know, the last announcement about any sort of transition, when they said they weren't going to make any major changes to the 117, was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And said they weren't going to do it. And I haven't seen anything since then saying they are going to do it. But
we know that their idea of a major change is much different than ours, and they did tell us the damage would get worse. So, but it would have been nice for them to say, hey guys, this week we're ramping them up.
Well, except for they said that originally, But it seems like at this point, when you read this sentence, when we first introduced the 117, we reduced the damage on that target, to allow everyone to be able to learn the mechanics of the new target. With this transition, we are not planning on making any major changes to the 117. So
Yes,
maybe just at that point, they weren't making the transition, and now they're doing it.
yeah, that's kind of how I read. That's the Kicks way of reading it. Like normal people would say, well, it sounds like they've kind of changed their minds or something. Maybe they're not going to ramp it up, but that's the Kicks way. You know, they kind of softball it in there. I guess I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, in chat, let me know if they make any sort of, because they like to make statements right about now. At least Rampage did. So again, if anybody clue us in, and we can screen share whatever statement they do make, because I just wish they made some sort of statement. Said that this was the week we're going to do it, because I know a lot of people aren't hitting these targets because they assume it's a mistake. And at this point, like I said, all I've seen is the major thread associated with this got locked. So,
oh, really?
Well, yeah, because there was a thread that was put together that was about last week's FM, and then the mods merged everything into this one.
Oh, that's such bullshit.
And then they locked it. Yeah. So yeah, that
merging crap. That's just so ridiculous, because a lot of times the information is not the same, and they just do that so it gets buried over time, and then you can never find it when you go to search to see what was actually said, and it's just crap.
Alrighty, let's. Alrighty. All right. This is the testing that we did. There's been a lot of. Hey, Larry.
Hey.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, let's go back a slide. We just talked about the 117. Do you have any thoughts on the 117?
Well, I did hit one, and I did take a lot more damage. My fleet has pretty good countermeasures, and I feel like the only damage it gets through really consistently is the little green missiles, and so I suspect the damage on those has been turned up, but that's about all I know. And in fact, I'm pretty sure it is a majority missile damage, because right now my fleet has like one with a bunch of phalanx, and so it's got higher missile resistance, and that one took less damage than the others.
Yeah, I mentioned that Earth's probably going to be coming home from work at some point and popping on the show, and he did mention that he has an RA3 version that maybe we could test out, or maybe he'll run through that target and see if that one takes significantly less damage than the other ones. And it's just sort of a pisser at this point that we're asked to refit these, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, this was the first time I was able to do it with all the specials, all the armors, have it fully built. Last week, I still had a couple specials that were missing. And so with the timing of everything, and even though I claimed all the dragon tokens and all that good nonsense, I get 0 chances to, it just seems like a very fast transition.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still putting one more charge on each of my Infernos, so I'm still running 4, but
yeah, I'm running 5. Maybe that's why I was a little lacking on.
And so, Larry, which one are you going with? The 3 M's and 2 X's?
Yeah, I was already putting 3 M's and 2 X's, and now, I mean, you might even want 4 M's and 1 X.
Yeah. And you did the same thing too, right, Hefe?
I put 3 M's and 2 X's on all of them except for one, which I have my phalanxes on. And in that one, I went with 3X and 2M. They're all pretty much the same. It was just to balance it out.
Yeah, right on.
So, alrighty. And you missed it. At least according to YouTube chat, that Rampage did not leave because of this. He's leaving because he went to WrestleMania. We don't know if there's any truth to this. But then there was a second source said his opponent was John Cena. And so we're not confirming or denying any of this stuff, but that information is out there on the internet, Larry, just in case you were
Maybe
wondering.
he's taking off in honor of his movie being released. Rampage.
Which movie?
The movie.
Okay.
Based on the classic video game.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't taint that movie for me because I used to love that video game. So
I still love that video game.
You know,
I have that
yeah,
video game.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I do too when I see it, but it's far and few between that you ever see it anymore. But anyway,
okay.
Yeah, don't make me be thinking about CM Rampage when I go to see the movie.
Just
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
No offense, Rampage, if you watch this, but
But yeah, I was sorry for the diversion, but yeah, I was sitting in the previews for that, and I was sitting with I was watching, it was before Black Panther, I think, with my kids, and one of them, we always play Rampage, and he and I, and I saw that, and he calls the ape George, and I'm like, no. And yeah.
Yeah,
right,
I knew what it was immediately when I started seeing, I was like, that's got to be Rampage. Like, I can't believe they're making a movie out of it. Anyway, all right, well, let's go on.
All right, I will, unless there's a beer review we need to do.
No beer tonight.
All righty. Grimace and I and Lady Cat did a little testing with the Elite Countermeasures turret. And we'll step through it. If you look on the left is Grimace's mobile water-based elite countermeasures. It's got a good amount of splash. He's got increased range and boatload of armor. So, you look on the right and you have one of Lady Cat's old Liberators before we refit it, and probably should have done a little bit more tweaking to it. But as you see, it's got a switchblade, some mana, some blades, and some talon. And why don't we see what happens? Dun, dun, dun,
Oops,
dun.
Sorry.
Dun, 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 dun.
And it
dun,
clears
dun.
up. Should I replay that since it took it a while to clear up?
Yeah, once it ends, hit the replay.
Okay.
And we'll see it in higher def for everybody.
Nope, it's still fuzzy.
Okay. For some reason, it's fuzzy at the start, but what you guys are seeing, or hopefully, is you're seeing that the countermeasures are firing. It's clear on the regular videos that it's firing and shooting them down prior to hitting the target. Why am I hearing myself?
I hear you normal,
okay.
not echoey.
Okay. All right, that's weird. Somehow something popped up and it was okay. And I guess it appears to be working there. It's the elite countermeasures are working. Yeah. Let's go to the next slide. Now that we got that all taken care of.
Why did it go backwards? What's it doing? There we go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Alrighty.
Man, he's hired help to flip the slides this week.
If I was paid more, I mean, come on.
Yeah. All right. And this one we got the missile storm cruiser, and it's got the precision. What is that one called? The precision
missile system. That's PMS.
Precision and
the AOT.
The left-hand one is providing 100 projectile speed. The PMS and the advanced optical is providing 25 projectile speed. And we're using the new D55X, which has a projectile speed, I think, of 250 versus 180 of the older style of missile. And let's see what happens here. And hopefully we start out without being fuzzy.
Oh.
Doesn't seem to be working now.
My poor turret.
Yep. It
Hey,
would be
pause
nice
it
if they
before
had
it
people.
ends. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I have a suspicion it's the video compression. And if you pause it before it ends, and then without it like going to the black screen, you might not get the fuzzy.
But then I can't hit replay.
No, but if you rewind it, you think it would work?
Grab the progress bar and just pull it back. Oh no, it's still fuzzy.
Yeah, still fuzzy.
All right. So much for that theory. Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, so what you're talking about the projectile speed, and you know, I was thinking that maybe that the fast speed would overwhelm the reload, but it looks like even the first one gets through. The first volley.
My thought is they have a sleepy gunner, and he is like, "Oh, people are here. They're shooting at us." And at first, he's like, "Oh, I need to turn the guns on and start firing." And because they're arriving so quickly that it's not firing. It's just we want to do some other tests because I want to do another test where we maximize the range. And so therefore, because you can stretch these out to a range of about 150, so not have the target be the turret, but have the target be an oil rig or maybe a tier 7 ship. We were just trying to minimize the amount of repairs that were required for Grimace, because it'd be great if they could, people were allowed to test this stuff in a free environment.
We don't pay them enough
somewhere. No, well, yeah. Or it'd be cool. Or it'd be cool if somebody tested this in a free environment, were coins to do the test. But yeah,
or if they paid someone to actually test.
Yeah. Maybe they had an employee that might, that did this sort of stuff.
That's a novel idea.
So let's go back to another common kickside complaint, and this is related to your sleepy gunner theory. Weapons actually can have a wind-up stat, right? Like certain weapons just don't fire right away, and that should be in the blueprint data on that weapon, yet it is not. So we can complain about blueprints more if you want.
Yeah, this is like a wake up. Well, we got more.
Okay.
Let's go
oh wait,
to the
there's
next
more.
one.
ShamWow. Oh shit.
Nerf joined us.
I can't say that.
Hey, Irv.
Why is it not going forward again? It doesn't like.
Evening, gentlemen. Sorry, I come in whilst you were talking about something, so I didn't want to interrupt. But hey, guys.
Hello.
What's up, Irv?
I think you went forward too, Grimace.
Did I?
Maybe not.
No, that's just one.
Sorry.
It's okay. This is one, and we need to do some more testing. We started looking at things later, and things were going on. But what we've done here is we have the Liberator with the D55X, and it still has advanced optical, but it also, unfortunately, has
HVR.
High velocity rounds, and so it's still quite fast, and we'll see what's going on, because this is on the Liberator now with both specials, which are speeding it up 125%. So we got about the same speed going on. There's only one on this, so we're more looking at the fact that it's not firing at it as opposed to the damage. This does not have all the damage boost associated with it. So it's hitting, it's just not doing as much damage, because before we had more. But it should be able to, in theory, for a 30-day build time on a tier 6 Conqueror without all the right specials, it's not able to stop one missile. So there appears to be an issue with how this has been put together, because this appears to be the bottom rung of test, you would think.
Yeah.
On how this works. We went a little bit lower on the next one, And it actually, this is the one where made me think more that it was a projectile speed one. We took off the advanced optical, which dropped 25 projectile speed, and you're gonna see it hit sometimes. But as you watch through this, Lady Cat is gonna back around at some point. It's letting him through. It's not firing at him, because you guys know what it looks like when it fires at him. She's gonna start moving.
It actually was firing at him right there in the beginning.
Okay.
You can see it right at the turret.
Okay.
And that's kind of the issue, is it's not firing out. It's just firing right there.
Yeah, and with only one missile on there, it's target, and with all the resistances you have to tell how much damage it's taking. But as you see, she's going to go off to the right, and as she leaves range at the furthest distance,
and see there, it's not shooting at all.
Yeah, yeah. She was too close. It didn't have enough time to wake up.
So there it goes again. It's shooting.
Yeah, it's shooting the further she gets away.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But...
No problem. So that's what we saw, and so it appears to be a projectile speed thing. And like I said, before Friday, I think we'll blow up more of Grimace's stuff and figure out because we have some other tests devised for this, and we're going to take off the high velocity rounds and ensure that this is a projectile speed issue that's going on. And so what do you think as far as the ramifications on how this might work in your base? Because the projectile speed thing is twofold. Because as a missile is coming in, if something is 150 range away, you also have the projectile speed of the countermeasure, which is 1,000. So the further it gets away, the more likely the missile is going to hit the target before the countermeasure hits it. So this, even though it's a 30-day build time, appears that it might have a very small sweet spot of where it actually protects your base.
At least against missiles, it's different with mortars.
Because of the speed of the mortars?
Apparently, because it likes to shoot at mortars, but it does not like to shoot at missiles.
Yeah. Since we were boring Larry with the countermeasure.
What is going on?
Is it not an issue though
out of that? I'm sorry,
it could be because it's called a countermeasure that only shoots at UAVs and bloody mortars rather than missiles so much? So that's what we've tended to have found with anything that has the name countermeasure in it. Sorry, I'm a little bit.
Yeah, it's just not. Well, yeah, I mean, we're talking about the wind-up time earlier, but it's another thing doesn't work quite like you want it to.
Yeah, with a 30-day build time, that's the pisser on it.
Yeah.
And how would you adjust your base? Would you now start using phalanxes that don't seem to have this issue on your Omni, or your? We'll get into the Nightmare later, or Night Watch later.
Warden. Nightmare.
Well,
the countermeasure.
The countermeasure. Yeah. So. Okay. Irf, have you had a chance to hit the 117 today, or you just got in?
I haven't. I've literally just got in back from work, so I'm actually just about to go and hit one now, so that I can kind of chirp in on this. So give me a minute, and I'll be back.
Okay. You said that you do have one ship that has reactive armor as opposed to the.
Mine all have reactive armor, rather than using any of the alloy armors. So I'm going to test it out in a minute, because I was doing it for instant repair on the map. So I'll see how things are in a second.
Are you using a Zealous or something?
Yeah, I'm using 4 IDs and a Zealous. So we'll see. I'll let you know very shortly.
Okay. It would be fascinating if they drive and use as Zelos by the new change. So, alrighty. This week, the 115 is worth the same as the 111. We're having a raid the following week, and so the 115 will be dropping off the map. And there's really no reason for it to be around anymore, since the 111 is a easier target. And just wanted to keep everybody up to date. They're both worth the same at this point.
I think the other thing to remember is that next week is the Hull raid, and there will almost certainly be a new assault hull for the next raid cycle. So you want to save
the Mana Core.
Oh, it was announced. I see. I'm totally in the dark. But anyway, you want to save your tokens so you can build more of those when you get them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget.
And so, don't spend the ones you have from this week if you haven't done it already, and you can store up your chest and use them during the after the raid. Ready. Alrighty. I guess we can move on.
Some show should have told me to do that.
yeah.
Last week.
Gotta watch the show, Larry. All right. Bounty 8. How was everybody's experience? There's a slide afterwards that talks about potential changes or improvements, but we can let's go back to just how everybody's let's go back to the toilet paper.
I was actually enjoying Boba Fett.
Well, we'll have that. She's our favorite bounty hunter on this show. But how's everybody's experience with the bounty, with our other raid?
Well, since I thought all the new prizes were crap, on Thursday night, as I was building up to that 10K checkpoint, someone hit me for 4,500, and I decided to just go to bed instead of grind away again. It was good strategy. I think someone in my sector, and I think he might have actually been watching me build up and waited until I was up there to hit me. So kudos. But so I just went for the small checkpoints each day, and then ended up with like 37,000 and got some TAC focus and PMS, which I didn't get last time, and 12-hour build token. So
let's see.
It was okay.
I don't know. I became a little bit disillusioned with hitting some of the targets because of the load time. Because so many times hitting the replica bases, the only time I would take significant damage. I mean, more than, most of the time it was instant repair on the map, but even on the hundreds, if I was choosing the right 100s, and we'll get more into that later as far as the base wind conditions. But so often it would take so long to load that, because I was running a missile storm cruiser, a bus, and the rest were sloths. By the time I entered, my sloths were dead. Before, they were already moving across the map and they were dead. And I started getting, miffed with that. So at one point, I just started hitting the 100s and the 90s with one single missile storm cruiser, and hitting 70s with a single bus. And I did that for a while. I got bored with it. And I had some people hit me on the first day, and then I figured out that the penetrative overlay is very important, ladies and gentlemen. It's I heard at one point, and just let people just wail them outposts, and still it still held up. So yeah, I gained like 35 medals. In the last couple of days, just getting hit a couple of times. Because
that's really funny.
because people weren't able to get in my outpost with how I changed my build. I had to make some changes to get everything I wanted on there, but the outpost had made difficult to kill with the current technology.
And then did you spend the uranium to get that extra 75% resistance?
Yes.
Yeah, so that probably made the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I had 87.5 on the tactical overlays, and then I had like 47 on the armor, and then I had 75% with the bounty thing. So it made it sturdy, and I am tempted, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm tempted to pull off the Omega weapon and add more armor, because the Omega weapons aren't doing squat at this point. I would much rather have the armor and much higher resistances. So
it's not a terrible idea. That's pretty funny, actually.
Mm-hmm. So, Earth, how was yours? A Grimace?
Earth
is off.
You went away to hit a one.
Sorry.
117.
To be honest, I didn't really have a lot of time for bounty. I got a few bits and pieces that I felt that I should get. Not entirely impressed by the Halo 2 because it's, well, shite.
We'll get there.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the targets. It's quite good. Especially enjoyed the fuck you kicks targets that popped up every now and then. Those were interesting. Obviously, very good screening that they done with the bases that they pulled out. But yeah, so all in all, from what I actually managed to play, it was enjoyable. And yeah, good on kicks for keeping it very same, very similar. I didn't have so many connection issues I didn't have so many connection issues as what Hefe had, but you know, it's obviously luck of the draw, it seems, or might have been the times where I was able to play. There's less traffic across the server or something, but hey.
Yeah, I didn't notice issues like that either.
What I will say though is that I've just done 117 with my Inferno fleet. I was doing it for instant repair on the map last week, and now I've just got 4 hours and 41 minutes damage.
Oh.
So.
And you're real missile heavy on your defense, on your resistance.
Yeah.
Huh. That's surprising. Because I didn't get a sense that like the turrets had much more health than they used to.
No, it just seems to be a lot more damage. I think they've just got the damage on it so much that really the bypass you were getting from the charged armors and stuff like that, the reduction's just not there, and you're just taking massive amounts of damage. But it's fine because I'll just grind it out. I just won't hit 117s if it's going to be that damage, and especially with an increase like that from being able to repair on the map for free to this week having like nearly 5 hours of damage. I just won't do it. Simple as that, really.
So, question number one: why couldn't they communicate that this was going to happen?
So there was some vague communication early on when they released these targets that they were gonna turn up the damage eventually, and then
if I'm not mistaken,
said they were gonna hold off. So yeah, it's kind of unclear.
Yeah, they were going to hold off. That's the last thing we all heard. There is no communication for this company. If they don't start, it's over. Screw them. I don't care. You know what? We're all we're holding their hand and think, "Oh, it's okay. Go ahead and screw us." Bullshit. You know what? I used to coin the repairs on the 117s. I'm not. I'll let them repair for 4 hours. If they're wanting to slow the game down, communicate. Let us know. Don't stick it up our ass and go, "Hey, how you like that?"
Yeah, I mean, we knew that there was going to be an escalation in it, but that, as far as I'm concerned, for me to go from being able to repair on the map for free to 5 hours of damage is totally unacceptable, and I just
why
won't
couldn't
do
they
it.
tell us that it was going to happen? Everybody's missing the point. Why couldn't they say, okay, guys, listen, it's here, bend over? Then we'd be more prepared. But to catch everybody unawares like this is bullshit. Any other company that you took money out of your wallet and handed them that screwed you like these guys do, you wouldn't go back. And we're sitting here holding these guys' hands, going, it's okay, here, have some more coins.
Well, they won't be getting any coin off me for the Forsaken mission. That's
good. I wish nobody would coin. I wish nobody would coin any part of this mission. Period.
Yeah, it's not so much the Forsaken mission that you need to coin. It's the fact that it interferes with, if you're going to have 2-3 hours every time you hit one of those things, how is that going to impact the other parts of the game?
Worse than that, how is it going to affect the parts for the people that can't get by on time? You're hitting these for 500,000 points. Some of these guys can't hit these fleets or hit these targets with any fleet. And now you're taking points away from the 115. Effectively, they're slowing or stopping the game and the progress down for everybody.
They want us to move across to using IDs, but I mean, really, it's completely unacceptable, the amount of damage. It's all of our new tech and everything that we need to progress in the game comes through the Forsaken mission most of the time. And to be perfectly honest, the reason I hit the high level targets is because I don't have the free time to be able to grind out lots of different targets and stuff like that.
They're going to make you take the time if you're not going to coin.
The fact that, yes, last week I could do it for instant repair on the map, to this week it's a 5-hour repair, I'm not going to be doing it. It's just simple as that. I'll grind out lower level targets. I don't really care. And if I don't make what I need to make, then tough shit, because I'm not going to fucking pay for it.
I mean, yeah, I think my constant motto is don't spend what you're not willing to part with. I mean, if you want to spend coin, it's fine. Just don't expect value in the future because you spent coin. So make sure you know why you're spending it.
Sure.
I think what you're trying to say is, if you coin it, you're voting with your pocketbook a little bit and saying this is acceptable at this point in time. Is that somewhat what you're saying?
Don't spend coin and be mad about it, because that's just your own fault. You know what I mean? You spend coin, you bet. I mean, nobody's twisting your arm making you spend that coin. All right. If you think you're getting something out of it, then go ahead. And if you don't, then don't. And don't come crying to me if you think you're not getting value out of the coin you spent, because then why the hell did you spend it in the first place?
I didn't coin it.
I understand. This isn't really directed right at you, Rum.
Oh, I know. I appreciate that very much. I came on here. I'm hot today because this is bullshit. I'm more pissed off by the lack of freaking communication from this idiotic company than I am anything else. These guys need to get behind a keyboard and say, listen, we're going to bend you over. Thank you.
So what would you have done if, I mean, what would you have done? Oh, hey guys, the damage is being cranked up by a factor of 3, or in Earth's case, a zillion, on these FM targets this week. What would you have done?
Well, it wouldn't make any difference what I would have done. I would have played, but at least we would have been prepared. How many guys got up this morning and thought, oh, yeah, mission, but here we go.
Prepared how? You mentally prepared, okay, but...
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, is mentally prepared.
All right.
It's communication. It's just communication. That's all I'm saying. This one was not as bad as the first one that I did. I did this on auto while I was ranting. It's 3 hours and 26 minutes. Okay, so I can do another one. That's not a problem. The problem is there is no flipping communication from this company. None. It's got to change. But we're not strong enough as a group of individuals to say, change it or else, because, hey, there'll be another player coming right up behind us that's willing to do whatever KixEye wants them to do.
Well, I think that's what we were trying to hint at earlier, was the fact that if you don't want to coin the FM, don't coin the FM. I mean, it may set you back in certain ways, or you can do like what Earth is doing, and I'll hit lower level targets. But you're showing them that this is okay when you coin it, and I don't really want to get into that, but that's sort of what I think is being discussed here.
Yeah, that's what I said, basically.
Yeah.
So right, and you don't have to finish the FM on day one either. Sometimes it's nice when you want to spend those tokens, but especially this week, you've got till what, Tuesday next week.
Yeah, you can do it for free. So what's that? I guess my point is, KixEye wants coins, right? But this move has made it counterproductive to where they're not going to get coins. They would have got coins from me if they left it alone. Now they're not. I'm a small potato player, okay? Let's just face it. That's what it is.
So yeah, and right, and I absolutely stand behind what you're doing there, right? Spend coins when you think you want to, and don't when you don't. And if everybody did that, then maybe KixEye would make smarter decisions. Who knows?
Yeah,
I'm getting
that sums it up.
Feedback from somebody.
Yeah, there's lots of feedback out there.
So,
all right,
are we done with that? Well, I mean, George is requesting that Rum Scrap is based live on the show, but
hey,
I'm not going to.
Don't.
I'm not going to promote
it happen.
But I'm just telling you what George is saying in YouTube chat. But
it could happen.
So yeah, he's a ratings monger. People will be watching for hours. Oh my God. So should we move on, or are we done with the FM issue? Because we can talk about bounty.
Why, they screwed that up too.
Hey, so the one thing I did during this bounty that was good is I actually did a lot of work on my guard fleet. I spent a lot of those Conqueror tokens I've been sitting on, and got an onslaught with an engine disruptor and a Rit and a Boulder Fist, and I think my defense is quite a bit more effective now. So that was good.
Cool. Were you able to hit targets? And I'm not talking NPC bases or whatever you want to call them, your opponents?
I hit a few player bases, but I mostly did NPCs. I hit some.
Did you have any targets available?
At the 1 to 2K range, yes, but once I was getting up to 3 to 4K, no.
We were in the 300s this time, and after Thursday, there was literally 4 people that we could hit for the next 3 days.
Well, and I know I personally wasn't going for the big.
Larry, I wouldn't go for the big bases either. I was looking for 1,000, 2,000 points. At least you could knock them down. You could build your total. You couldn't find them. They weren't there.
Kid, where I was.
Huh?
I was hitting level 50s for like 3,000 bounty, just purely because they were there. And I was like,
they weren't there for us.
I feel the same way you do, Rum, about that, because especially on the last day, once you started getting up there in points, there weren't really many targets. I was watching people, and watching bubbles and stuff, and a lot of people were frubbling, so they were protecting their points, which, I mean, it's part of the strategy, I guess, so more power to them, but it was really tough that last day, and a lot of people were going for the same targets, so you would be waiting around, and their bubble would pop, and there would be 5 people with fleets there waiting to get in.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there just weren't enough targets with points to hit that weren't frubbling,
Well,
and I'm not saying all of them were. There were a lot of people that were legitimately bubbled, but there were a lot of frubbles.
Yeah, there was a ton of frubbling going on. There was a ton of everything that you don't normally like to see. That's okay. That's all cool. Not a problem there. There were no targets available. They've got it turned down. Everybody understands the mathematics now behind what to do and how to bank it. So what they're doing is they're playing to secure and then not hitting anything else so that you can get any more points.
Right.
Yeah. So everybody, and it's smart. I'm not saying it's not smart. I'm saying that's the way to do it. But they need to change it up to where you don't have to spend 24 hours a day grinding out your opponent targets to get 2,000 points or 5,000 points or whatever. Make this crap worthwhile. Turn it back into a base hitting event. If they even want to get it away, I don't know. I don't have the answers. If I did, I'd be making a lot more money than what I do. But I'm so frustrated with things that they've done this. Remember how happy everybody was after the previous bounty?
Well, do you think it was just all the points you needed in this one?
No. You didn't need any more points to spend 119,000 to secure for the last 3 or 4 bounties.
I think part of it too with this bounty for me was if you went and hit the replica bases, you also have to kill the fleet, and some of the fleets that are in there are, you can kill them, but you're either going to take a lot of damage or you got to bring other fleets in just to kill the guard fleet, and it takes too long.
It's time.
I also saw a reduction in the lower level replica bases.
Let's go on to the next slide then. I think you're covering that.
Sorry.
Yeah, we got some improvements ideas. And there's Hot Boba Fett.
Yes.
Yeah, our favorite bounty hunter. The first one is what you were bringing up, replica base, the win condition of having to 100% that base with the addition of the onslaught and all the tier 6.5s and tier 7s as being in the guard. You would time out and have to kill them again. It was just not conducive to good gameplay with having to kill those ships. You could run them over, kill the outpost, do 50%, walk away. Much more enjoyable experience and much less grindy.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. And then there's the second point.
I think a lot of that is designed to kind of force you to hit player bases rather than the replica bases to a certain extent.
But there weren't any player bases to hit.
This is what kind of throws it out a bit. But, in a perfect world, I could see what they're trying to do by making it harder to hit the replica bases. It kind of forced you to actually hit proper bases, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand the theory behind it. It didn't work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in a perfect world, I think at your restaurant, wouldn't she be one of the waitresses in that outfit?
Well, yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
And that another point that Grimace brought up, decreased spawning of lower level replica bases. It was mostly 90s and above that I saw. I was able to hit them, but it seemed to limit things for lower level players. Previously, you saw all the way down into the 50s, and I didn't see any 50s. And I saw some 80s that had those vanquishers that were impossible to kill. And, going back up to the first point where it just took too long to kill them, if you were required to get 100%. So that's what I saw mostly at the 70s and 80s. So it was very, I don't think it was a good raid for the lower levels and the people that did not have the tier 7 conquerors.
Yeah.
So unless you were hitting, level 60 real player bases.
Boy, there's a lot of bounty there, isn't there?
Could be. Some of them were. I mean, yeah. Well,
yeah, but you know
he
what?
actually put the video out.
You want to talk about running people out of the game, Hefe? You got level 50s and 60s that are grinding their ass off, doing exactly what they can. You starve the top level players from getting any points, so we're reduced to hitting in 50s and 60s. You're going to run them out of the friggin' game. I mean, come on.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. They got asses where their heads should be at Kixeye.
Well, so that is something that's been talked about for a while. Is having level 50s be thrown in the mix with everybody else is so unrealistic now. That's what's really got to get fixed first. You have
That's the last bullet.
It's what?
Oh, PvP level limits. Yes. Yeah. Right. I mean, offhand, you could do a bracket between 50 and 80 and see how that works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or try to come up with something different based on tech level and whatnot, because with some of these people in alliances and the tech that they're getting, and I forgot to invite Holsch with his Holsch's coming of age series, and how his alt did in the bounty. If it's a very smart player or it's helped by alliances, you could have a level 70 something that's just trouncing all the level, that whole bracket. So I know it's probably not going to happen, but the idea of having things based on some sort of technology level as opposed to how much resources you spent and how much you've brought in, would be a better way to do it, as opposed to purely resource based. Because as I recall, way back when, the bad bases gained level faster than the good bases because they were losing resources and had to go out and get them. So it's a broken mechanic. So, I mean, but yeah, if they're going to stick with this, I think this bounty would probably be, there's so much base hitting that, and they look at win percentages and everything else of, making a smart way besides us saying 50 to 80 as one range, that they're gathering enough data to probably make this decision. And I hope that somebody's looking at that.
Can we question one or two of the prizes and the way they include them, particularly for a base hitting event where hulls are critical and you offer a 12-hour ship build token? Or defending your base, you get one day build token, structure build token? Why don't they make it to where you can spend the points that you have left over and make a choice instead of going, here's a token of our appreciation. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 hours. Come on.
Yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, they could even put, a much higher point value to it, and I don't know why that they're doing that. I guess it's to limit the completionist. I'm not certain why they make that kind of decision. So the other issue I ran into was damage protection time versus repair times. In bounty, where you have a maximum of 4-hour bubble, and your outpost has a repair time of 11. And then you have a dock with a repair time of 4, and then your fleet has a repair time of 10. They need to speed up one or extend the other. I don't think they want to reduce the damage or increase the damage protection time, even though I think that's the best thing for the players because people do sleep at times. And it just seems broken that you're just hitting broken base after broken base when you're hitting players. And like I said earlier, I pulled my guard because it's like I don't want to repair it anymore, and I'll just have these bastards time out. So you know, with the additional 75%. I don't know. It just seems like they seem to like it. They've never changed it, but doesn't it? I mean, Venom was it last week? I forget which show, but he was talking, or no, it might have been an after show, but he was talking about the fact that, you know, he goes to sleep, somebody can 25% him, and then after they 25% him, take out his guard, and then come back in 2 hours, he has no guard, and then take out the rest of the base. There just seems something broken with the, you know, with the bubbles that we're getting. And I never got over a 3-hour bubble. It's just, you know, I don't know. It just seems broken to me, you know, as, you know, playing through it. I don't know. Everybody's like, just Gwyn it.
No.
Okay. The total cost of the new prizes was $135,000. From what I can tell from the global leaderboard, 55 players reached that. There's probably more because I think the Nexus people, I don't think those points were added on until after the leaderboards were last updated. And also the last 800 you get do not get added in there. So it seems like a fairly exclusive club, you know, 55 players getting the new prizes.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll leave it up to them.
It's an exclusive club of really shit prizes.
No, true. Okay. Lag entering targets. I brought that up earlier because I had not seen that outside of this bounty where it took so long. It took so long to enter the targets that I was already engaged in combat and potentially had lost all my slots, and that was really frustrating for me.
I'm not sure that was universal. I didn't hear a whole lot of complaints like that.
There's a lot out there to where you know somebody can start the battle on you, and half your fleet is dead by the time you get in. It's a kick coin mechanism.
Mm-hmm. Time for a Conquer build / Conquer / oh, I didn't mean build queue. I'm sorry about that.
You meant repair queue?
Repair queue, yeah, because your base to fleet, your base guard isn't considered a Conqueror guard. What I'm saying is combine the two and allow you to repair your base guard at the same time repairing a Conqueror or something else, as opposed to have it only be the Conqueror ships. Because I really think they hate the defenders, because, you know, you look at the defenders, you know, like the Warden, 6 hour or a 6 day build time, as opposed to the Conquerors have a 15-hour build time, and then they have a 3-hour repair time versus a 30-minute repair time for the Conquerors. Since these two are going at each other, why is it so different?
Yeah, and you know, it's a little bit perverse that there's such a incentive to make Conquerors as your defenders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's because a lot of people don't want to, you know, they don't want to have their base be vulnerable. So if you have a long repair time and your bubble's going to drop, a lot of people will put that coin on there to get their defender holes back to full health before their bubble drops. And it's kind of, you know, it's making you feel like your base is unsecure or whatever. I don't know. I mean, like you said, a lot of people use Conquerors now.
Yep. And this one's the rest of them are sort of minor until the last one. Bounty chests instead of reinforced chests, because if once you reach past the first 4 checkpoints, you get 3 prizes, which are reinforced chests, and they're labeled the same as the ones that you get from doing your daily campaigns and whatnot. And so it's sort of difficult at times to differentiate the two of them, because sometimes you'll see no warning, and sometimes you'll see uranium as a warning, and that could be for either one of them. It just make it a different color and change the text. It doesn't seem that difficult.
Yeah, I usually tell if it's a base parts warning, but yeah, I get your point.
Yeah. Uranium as a PvP prize. Speaking of what I'm now calling the bounty chest, your booby prize, the lowest ranking one, at least in my mind, was getting uranium, like 50K or 75K, considering the fact that titanium is, well, A, a bitch to get, and then B, the currency that's involved with PvP. Why is uranium the prize?
Because it's easy to get, and they don't want you to be getting free titanium. Simple enough, without spending some time.
Okay. And we talked about this earlier. I'm not sure if there's any more on bounty to using the bounty data set in order to create a new PvP level limits as far as who can attack who. We sort of talked that through, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. Get rid of our favorite bounty hunter. Yeah, I mean, if anybody has anything to say, I mean, I know there hasn't been a lot of success so far from what we've heard with people as far as the Borden.
We talked about it before the bounty. This hull just didn't seem all that attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
it seems like there's another. Well, this is your chance to say something nice about the artwork, since you said it wasn't attractive. I'm sorry. Different
got lines on it that like glow and shit.
Racing stripes.
Yeah. Flames are always nice. Everybody liked the bus with the flames on the side, and everybody liked the sea wolf with the the jaws, the shark jaws on the front of it. But as far as it seems like as we've seen, the countermeasure that came with it appears not to act the way that everybody thought it would. And there's not really a missile or a mortar to take advantage of the remote targeting range that's going to do any more than minimum damage. I mean, personally, my thought is someone's going to use the disruptor missile to help slow things down, and it has the highest reload of them to do the minimum damage and slow them down. But is that even that effective? That's not going to be that effective as far as doing anything.
Yeah.
So, all right, enough Warden talk. Let's go to the next one.
Oh, joy.
Yep. It appears, doing the math, that if you add 2 of these with 2 executioners, that the penetrating damage boost is enough to make the executioners somewhat effective against onslaughts, not against missile storm cruisers.
Is that with faction bonus included or not?
I think so. I mean, it's a stretch. I mean, maybe when they release more, I don't know. We can move on. I'm just sort of,
Oh, hey, something introduced from Kickside that doesn't work. What do you know?
Yeah. Well, it's okay.
Way to go there. Right. I like that commentary. That's really good.
Yeah.
Do it again. This one deserves a double.
People watch the Battle Pirates Crib Show for our highbrow, insightful, intellectual statements.
Yes.
There we go. Okay. All right. The Night Watch countermeasure. It appears that despite what we heard, at least I haven't seen any good videos on it, but it appears that it tags mortar. It tags both. What I mean by tags is it once an incoming projectile is fired upon, it's not going to be fired upon by anything else, because we had heard from a couple of the mods, one in the forum and one in chat, that it would tag the missiles. meaning it would only get one shot at firing at them, but it would shoot at the mortar consistently throughout. And what we've seen, at least what I've seen reported, is something very similar is going on with the mortar, because people are running these with Gale 3s. Because remember, this has a minimum range of 60. Is that the Gales never fire if they're both equipped to the same ship. So, yeah, it's the Larry rating system that we've got going on here.
I like that highly technical rocket scientist response.
You wouldn't get that kind of commentary on some other shows.
No way.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
They're drinking Larry Raspberry.
They're drinking tea with their pinkies out, but not here. You won't get any of that.
No.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. And I don't. There's not been any comment if this is the way it's supposed to work or whatnot. So, yeah. I like this one. We can be positive on Hydra's Hollow.
Yeah, but you know what's missing here? You know what's missing here? There's no armor for the people that need it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got the CR combo in the FM. I haven't tried that yet.
The armor was there because a certain camp popped up, and then people were able to finish it, and then it went away, and it came back, and they were able to do it again, and then they took it away again. I
didn't see anybody that was able to do it twice if they completed it the first time, because I completed it and it never came back up for me.
You weren't on at the right time. I did it twice.
Yeah, I did not. It was I think just for a couple hours that it was.
You know what's funny? You say that, Hefe, but I checked right when you guys were saying that, and it never came back up for me. I logged in and checked.
Kixeye loves me.
I didn't even get to do it once. So.
Well, at least I'm not banned off the forums lately.
Okay. They love me that much that I don't even have to spend the time contributing to the community on the forums.
Kixeye loves you, this I know.
But back to Hydra's Hollow, it is a 5-target TLC, even at the mastery level. So Hefe's constant, there's not enough time complaint. It should be not so bad on this one.
Yeah, I've run through, and it's also nice that, Price Pack 3 is the same as the Mastery, as far as I can tell. I mean, I didn't take any more damage on the Mastery than I did on Price Pack 3.
Yep.
And it's 5 targets. I had 15 minutes left when I was done. So that's cool. I didn't have any, have to take any breaks and, force any sort of prolapse or anything like that would occur rushing to get back to this. So I think it's good. I mean, it's allowing you to get 17 days of Hydra build tokens.
Hydrocephalus, is that what you were going to say?
No, just Hydra build tokens, and then 10 days of the Blood Hydra, and it's not that difficult. And the last 2 targets are new, and they're not
totally sick of them yet.
Yeah. I'm not. I was doing it with hunters and the prototype, even though it's interesting to write to deal with the prototype type seeker, because it's like, why was it sold the fact that it worked well with hunters? I mean, it was promoted that way. That one. Yeah, I mean, I found a use for it. I used the prototype Tide Seeker, or the prototype Seeker, as basically, once I get the Bloodthirst up, I use it to go wake things up and then drag it back to my hunters, let my hunters kill it, and then I go back out, because it's easily able to run under the mortars and whatnot by itself, and I never get hit by the mortars, and then, it can easily outrun the subs. So I just use that speed to go in and out and bring stuff to my hunters, let my hunters kill it, and then go back. And on the last 2 targets, I will go in and I'll kill all the subs, and I'll send my fangs in, and the gluttonies can't see it, so it's boom, 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 and they're dead, and I never take any damage on my fangs. And and get it done for a couple hours of damage, and
so
yada yada yada.
All right. I mean, I just do them instant repair and dock with my fangs after every target. So to each his own.
Yeah. I mean, I'm tired of driving my fangs, of running away from everything, and I'm just sort of
And and overall, it's really good that there are multiple ways to do this target. These targets, right? You want to not have to have one specific or even worse, both fleets.
Yeah.
And I hope this is a continuation of what's going to happen in the next set of TLCs for our siege fleets. Our Hydras.
Siege, right? Yeah.
Yeah, our Hydras and our Bucks. As far as the TLCs, do you need both of them? I don't know, but they seem to be trying to make it so you can use, one fleet or the other on the most recent TLCs associated with skirmish.
We'll see. I think it's been a little tougher for Kixeye to get that common target for the Hydras and the Bucks.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. But yeah, go out and do it and get all those tokens, and even if you don't refit now, you can refit during the raid. You got plenty of tokens once you figure out what the solution is.
Yeah, there's that new special that we're all kind of unsure about, so that's a really good reason to have some tokens banked.
I also think it's pretty awesome that they gave us Blood Hydra tokens in there, because so many times you get a whole bunch of the regular, ship tokens, and you don't have any for your flagship.
Yep.
So that's a bonus.
Yep.
Very, very well appreciated.
Yep. So if you have the ships, go out and do this. This is well worth it.
I'm kind of pissed off because I built my Blood Hydra and then I've ranked it in the VXP weekend, and now I'm like, I could have saved so much time and effort.
I did the same thing, but I understand too. It's for other people to help them get caught up. So it is what it is. I mean, I was kind of upset at first, but whatever. You can't predict that they're going to release this stuff. So.
Oh no, I agree. I agree 100%. I'm just like, from a personal point of view, I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, Hefe told me yesterday that this was out, and I was like, crap, I've got my Hydra is being refitted right now, and I would have been working on my dragons, So I agree with
you. Okay. We're winding down. I think now we got the Hunter game 3. Yeah, we've seen this multiple times before. It's no longer the same skirmish chest that we saw originally. It actually provides a random number between 1 and 4 of Hunter MK tokens. MK1 tokens. Does not provide skirmish tokens like it originally did.
I thought it always provided Hunter tokens in the skirmish chest.
No, the first go round it provided generic skirmish tokens. Hence the name.
Yeah. All right.
Gotta watch the show, Larry.
I have bad memory.
It's all good. I think that wraps up the slides, unless there's anything anybody wants. This is using Skyfires and Phoenixes to get this done. In case you guys don't have Hunters done, you got actually they're not, well, you got to consider the skirmish chest because it's 1 to 4 in each of them, but I think is there one more click on this one?
Yeah, there's a mastery, isn't there? Yeah.
There we go. And there's the last one. So yeah, you get a fair amount if you don't have your Hunters built.
Right.
If you don't, this is going for you. If you have your Skyfires and Phoenix.
If I do this one as well, I'll end up with like nearly 80 CT armors. Those come in handy.
They really don't. You want more corrosive.
Well, I was just trying to.
Or explosive, I guess, actually.
Yeah, and this is an old school one before they listened to my well, not my issue, but before they started listening that people don't like doing the 7 encounters in an hour. This is one of those ones. So yeah.
To be fair though, it's not a bad one. It's all right. It could be worse.
I don't do it.
It could be worse. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's the end of the slide, so I'll take you off Present Grimace, and you can get rid of the slides if you want. And is there anything anybody else would like to talk about?
Just gonna say it, put it out there. I apologise, Viper 87, for hitting you 4 times in 3 days. But as soon as your bubble drops, I'm gonna hit you again. So just put it out there.
So that sounds like a sorry, not sorry, actually.
Who are you talking to? I missed that part. Did you say 487?
Viper 87 is.
Viper 87.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. All right.
Bar my alliance because I've hit him a few times in the last few days. So knock yourself out. Nobody cares.
Okay. Well, there we go. Maybe he's a watcher of the show. Maybe he's not. Viper 87. Subscribe.
Maybe he's a friend who watches the show.
Subscribe.
Tell him.
Yeah, subscribe and like. Or so
Just appreciate the fact that I didn't smash you live on the show. That's what I've got to say.
I say go for
it.
I can't now because I've already smashed him whilst I was doing the show. So, yeah. But maybe Friday or something. Who knows?
All right. Thanks, Surf. It's always good to have something to look forward to. Oh, wait. I don't watch on Fridays.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll follow him around for a week or so we can do it next Wednesday instead.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody would appreciate that.
Yeah. Especially him. Especially after he likes and subscribes to the show. But I guess is there anything else? Is there any updates on the 117? Any comment from Kixeye? I'm assuming not. I missed. Chat was going really fast for a while, so I'm assuming that there's not been anything in the forums from community manager Lee since Rampage decided to leave town after he got news of what was going to happen.
Maybe he's out doing interviews for jobs so he can get something better.
No,
but people don't want to kill him.
Well, we also heard that he's participating in WrestleMania, so we're not certain what's going on with him. So, yeah.
Let's be perfectly honest, Hefe. You sent him death threats. He's now on the run, scared.
Nothing like that happened, and I'm not seeing anything pinned associated with this. So, I'm assuming nothing's going on with that. So,
well, let me say this: I hit a target while we were doing that, and just talking and goofing around, and this one completed the target. So I don't. I'm trying to get in my base so I can see. For not a lot of repair. I don't know what happened.
You think they turned it back?
I don't know. It might have been a partial target that somebody else tried to hit because I didn't watch it. But this one was only 37 minutes. Let me see how many points I got, and that'll tell me. No, it was only a partial target that somebody left. Never mind. Sorry for this suspense.
Okay, so somebody died in that target, and so now you cleaned it up. Okay.
And left it, and I cleaned it up, yeah. But since it was on auto, I couldn't watch and tell anyway.
Okay. Now we're joined by Ed and Renato. Do you guys have anything you'd like to discuss before we go to the after show?
No, just catching up.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll stop the broadcast and I posted it in the chat in case anybody'd like to join. And see y'all on Friday, and hopefully we'll have something more definitive associated with what's going on with the elite countermeasure, and we'll see if anybody in here has claimed the Night Watch and has it built on something, and maybe we could do a little testing on that one as well. And I know it'll be a little late on Friday as far as making any decisions associated with whether to claim it or not, but at least the information's out there. So good night, everybody, and see you Friday.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
See y'all.